Joining us on the show is Harry Jevakaran. He is with CRY, that's Child Rights and You. He is in the field of development support. He is the Associate General Manager. Thanks, Harry, for joining us in the studio.
Thank you. And
First-
I'm happy to be here.
First of all, talk to us about this day. It's World Day Against Child Labor. What exactly does this day signify, and what is the importance?
See, children are basically our assets, any country's assets. They are the future. So, and children getting into a labor sector is actually detrimental to any society. So that is why internationally and even nationally, we observe this day as a day against child labor. That no child should be working, all children should be in school and getting educated.
Right. How would you like to define child labor here? Because it's a very thin line, I feel, and it's different if a child is willing to work on his or her passion project and wants to work on something that they are really caring about.
Yeah. So here I would like to go along with what government describes as, according to Child Labor Prohibition and Abolition Act, it says any child who is below 14 years of age and working in any sector is a child labor. Likewise, children above 14 years of age and below 18, they are not supposed to work in any heinous or hazardous forms of labor.
Okay.
So this is what the law says. But what CRY believes in is any human being who is below the age of 18 years is considered to be a child, and that child cannot work or need not work in any form of labor.
Right. Instead, they deserve education.
Exactly.
Instead, they deserve a good upbringing. Give us a sense of the ground reality right now. We'd like to believe that India is a young country. There are lots and lots of children who probably have had interrupted education because of the pandemic of late as well. What exactly is the scene right now? What is ground reality?
In the last 2 years, definitely all the development indicators that India has achieved is reversed. Definitely it has reversed because entire country was on a lockdown mode. All schools were closed and children were at home. And that is where the real problem started. Because as per 2011 census, we have around more than 60 lakh of children working as child laborers in India.
More than 60 lakhs.
Yes. And particularly if you take Karnataka alone, it is more than 250,000 children. So this is, I'm saying this number related to 6 to 14 years of age. There are more child laborers in the age bracket of 15 to 18, which can be more. So in the last 2 years, this would have doubled, definitely doubled, but we don't have the exact data right now. But as per CRY's experience, we have seen a lot of child labor increasing, more than 50% in the last 2 years in our own operational areas. And we are working back to get them back into school and get them good, proper education and protection rights.
Wow. I see there's so much of work cut out, right? Because on one side, remote working, we seem to be advancing. There is so much of technology that's in play. At the same time, something as basic as education is probably not reaching out to many children who deserve it. And you see this gap that's widened even more in the last 2 years. Talk to me about what are the top causes for kids' basic rights not being fulfilled in most cases. Is it poverty? Is poverty one of the biggest causes?
Yeah, definitely poverty is one of the cause. And adding to it, there are also other factors, which is, during pandemic, it was complete lockdown and there was no system functioning. Entire education system was on a halt. And I think all countries opted for online education. But unfortunately, India has more number of children, almost 60-70% of its children population are from rural areas. And they don't have the opportunity or even the luxury to own a smartphone or a laptop or any gadget to access online education. And definitely internet was also another issue where there was no access and children had to stay away out of education.
Right. Let's actually bring the society in play here, and let's think of how we can be solution providers. We know that a lot of kids deserve education and not labor at such a young age. However, what can we do to help? We see that when we go to a darshini, a restaurant, maybe young boys probably are being hired. We see kids on the street selling roses and at plenty of signals as well. We see this happening right in front of us. However, sometimes we are left just being bystanders. How can we help, and what can we do to improve the situation?
Yeah. At the first step, if anybody or any citizen, when they see a child working or selling a product on the streets, what they can do is they can immediately call up government. The number is 1098.
The number is 1098. 1098.
Exactly.
Call up this number. It's a government helpline to aid and to assist in the subject of child labor, and the government will set into action.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can also get into cry.org and you can report a case if you find anything, and we will reach out to our implementing partners wherever possible, and we will try to rescue.
Right. And you've seen this getting into action immediately. You've actually seen this work. And how good is the government helpline in terms of effectiveness?
Yeah, definitely. It's very good because they immediately respond to the call. It can be an anonymous call as well. They'll immediately inform the local implementing partner there. They'll immediately be there on the location, try to rescue the child and place it before a welfare committee, child welfare committee, and work on the rehabilitative process immediately.
Wow. Well, it's good to see that there is a protocol that's set in place. It would be great to hear a few success stories. Have you, in your line of work, you've been part of CRY for more than 10 years. I'm sure you have seen a lot of kids who have been rehabilitated, educated, and are now leading successful life. We would love to hear a few examples and stories.
Yeah, definitely. Before getting into case stories, maybe I'll share a few glimpses of what CRY does. So we are working in 19 states and we almost reach more than 9 lakh children. And in the last 1 year, we almost saw 3,000 child laborers rescued and getting back to school. So that is what CRY does. And few of our success stories are, I can name one girl called Malini. She was a child labor. We actually intervened, we stopped her working, we motivated her to get back to school. She was in government school, studied well, and she is the first girl child to get into medical seat.
Wow.
And she is currently in her first year of medicine.
That's
she is a very great inspiration to all other girl children because she broke all the odds and barriers.
Yeah.
So that is one. And also we have another girl child called Revati. She broke all same barriers and she is now currently studying in BTech IIT in Hyderabad. Wow. And she is also a great inspiration.
Isn't that beautiful? That's so amazing to hear these success stories of how their education has really led to their destiny and just changed fortunes altogether, right? So here's wishing them the very best, and here's wishing CRY and the organizations that are involved in rehabilitating the future of the country in a huge manner. If one wishes to support the cause, how can they do so? Not just in terms of donating and not just monetary help, but if one wishes to volunteer as well, how can they do so?
They can definitely reach out to CRY website. There we have a portal called volunteers or internship. They can register themselves in their volunteership if they're willing to volunteer or do an internship, and definitely CRY will get back to them. They can work with CRY for a limited period. During their internship, it can be 2 months, 3 months or a 6 months period. And volunteers can be day-based. They can even do virtual volunteering as well.
You can log on to CRY's website. That's how you can reach out and you can support the cause. Not just that, 1098 is the number that you will need to remember. Probably have it saved on your phone. The next time you're at a traffic signal, the next time you see a child who probably needs help, instead of working at such a young age, they need to have books in their hand, then you know this is the number to call on. It's 1098. He's Harry Jevakaran. He's taking care of development support at CRI, that's Child Rights and You, Associate General Manager with CRI. Thank you so very much for spending your time with us and giving us all these insights. It's amazing to hear about the good work that's happening. There is plenty more. I'm sure there are lots of outreach programs that are planned for the entire calendar year and then some. Like you mentioned, the pandemic has just let you just build from scratch, because all the good work that's happened is almost vanished and you'll need to rebuild to a large extent. So here's wishing you the very best, Harry. Thanks once again for spending time with us. And we look forward to keeping in touch and look forward to supporting in plenty other causes that will only help amplify, spread the word, and let more and more people join the cause of making sure that the future of our country is in right hands and good hands.
Yeah, thank you, Fever FM. We would definitely like to reach to many people through this. Yeah. Fever.